Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Takeover Lounge. Yo, it's been a long time since we've done it like this. This is crazy. I'm one of your hosts, D Give. Up to the top right, maybe. I don't know if is it mirror reflected. I forget how it looks, but we got Daniela up in here. You know what it is. She out here, the amazing co-host that she is. What's up, Daniela? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. What you munching on over there?
These little mini apple strudel things from Albertsons.
Oh, yeah. Don't say the brand because they ain't sponsoring. So, yeah, Little Apple mini strips, whatever. That's what's up. And we got a special guest with us today. He goes by the name of Nico Jordan. Y'all probably heard of him. You probably haven't, but this is going to be your introduction to him because he looks like he'll be in here for a long time, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you guys for having me on.
Man, of course.
To be here.
I'm glad we were able to get you on. You know what? Before we start this interview, I got to say, your persistence is what will get you far as hell in this game. No cap. I'm going to tell artists right now, if you want to be on the show, make sure you have the persistence that Nico Jordan has hitting us up almost every other month to make sure that we're going to lock him in. Man, I appreciate it.
Of course, man. You got to do what you got to do. And I was like, I got to be on the show somehow. But, like, I don't care. Like, I'll be as annoying as possible. Hopefully they don't block me.
Nah, man. It was one of the things we like to see. I mean, we're like, okay, let's see if he keeps coming back because we wanted to see more music and more content from you. But you kept coming back. And we're like, all right, man, the persistence is key. That's why we got to bring him on the show. So I appreciate it. It's refreshing to see somebody wants to go get it after they dream. So that's no.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you for having me on.
Man, of course. We got Truly up in here. I saw Truly's name, Mario, pop up. What up, Truly? We here. So we'll kick it off how we usually do. Daniela, go ahead and ask the first question.
Okay. So, wow, this really feels like we haven't done this in a while. Like,
definitely we have not.
I've done this never. So.
All right, so first question is, hold on.
She had it and she lost it.
Okay, so first question is so backstory. Before we started this interview, you were talking about how you're a behavioral health specialist, right?
Yeah, I'm a behavioral health technician.
Okay. So, when it comes to mental health, how do you keep yourself from stressing too much and keeping yourself sane?
It's a really good question. Like people who do know me, they'll like always ask, "Why are you in that field?" And for me personally, like before, I'm 23 now, but before I started like getting into the field or whatever, like I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and I was really big on drugs. And alcohol, was hooked on that for a very long time and didn't really have any direction. So I actually joined the military. I was in the Army for a few years. And that's what I did in the military for at the time being. And so when I got out and started making music, it was super important to me that like, I keep a good balance of like, my life and also, taking care of others too, because I feel like I have a really good grasp on life and the concept of it. It can be really stressful. Especially making music, like anybody who's out there being an artist, like I salute them, even if like I don't know them personally, just because this game can be really tiresome, like super tiresome. Like there has been so many times I've wanted to quit, or so many times I've freaked out and been like hella pissed off because of what I've been doing, or like because no one's checking it out or whatnot. So it's a really good question. Honestly, I think it's just like he said earlier about the persistence. I think just like being aware of like what you're going through up here, like, and really checking in with yourself. That's like definitely necessary. Have to.
So it's cool because mental health and behavioral health is also my background. I'm a prevention specialist. I work in the field of prevention. Okay. Yeah. So when you said mental health technician, what does that include for you, like your day-to-day job?
So my daily life, so I work at a facility where I work with kids who have substance abuse disorders or like misconduct disorders. So we get kids from all walks of life, and they can range from the age of like 13 to 17. Mm-hmm. And so I'm kind of like a big brother. It seems like I'm with them for 15 hours a day, man. I'm with them more than I am in my own house, So I see them more than I do my family. And, you know, I help distribute their medications, you know, hang out with them, you know, teach them good life skills and, you know, try to keep them on track just because they're not going to be there forever.
Right.
But, you know, the goal is to get them to a place where they can get out and return to civilization, like as, like, you know, as like straightened out as possible.
Okay. So are you with youth with in the detention center and juvenile? Detention?
I work for a company called Intermountain.
Oh, okay. So it's a rehab facility, am I correct?
Yeah, it is a rehab facility.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, because it's fun because this is definitely my wheelhouse, man. This is where I operate for sure. So my dad has a nonprofit organization out in Tucson, and it talks about they deal with substance use and abuse and mental health and wellness. So yeah, now I'm out here in Phoenix doing the same thing as you. I go talk to the kids. We talk about life skills. I deliver the presentation. So man, it's dope to hear that you're doing the same work, man. It's awesome.
Hey, man, well, kudos to you, man. It's a field that I feel like if you have anything to say or if you feel you can do any good, like, you know, take a dabble in it. You never know. Like, it feels good to change people's lives outside of like just music or whatever. Like,
definitely,
like involved is super important to me. So
for sure, so
definitely pays off.
So also talking about back to the music aspect of things. When did you get into music? What was your inspiration? All that good stuff.
Man, I got into music back. So I graduated high school in 2017, but I started making music, I want to say in 2016 in my Spanish class because I didn't really take school too seriously or anything like that. And so I was always hanging out with like all different types of people. And there was this one kid that I was very like accustomed to in my class. His name was Braven. And he also had made music at the time. And he was always writing the lyrics and like freestyling for people. And people were like going crazy about it. And I was like, damn, I want to be just like that dude. Like people like what he's doing. And so I started like writing lyrics in a notebook. But like I never started taking it seriously until I got out of the military, which was, I want to say 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
I had actually gotten out, and instead of coming back to Arizona, I had relocated to Oregon. Okay. I lived in Portland for a period of time, and when I was out there, I was super bored. There wasn't shit to do out there. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a cool place, but I wasn't 21 yet. So like, if you want to do anything cool, you had to be 21. Aside from like go on nature walks and that kind of thing. So my friend who I was living with was like, dude, remember when you used to write lyrics and all of that? Like, you need to start doing that. And I was like, bro, I just moved here and I'm broke. Like, I can't buy that shit. He was like, you know what, dude? Like, I've been out here for a while. Like, he was out there with his family and all this. And I didn't know any of the roommates that he had moved me in with. He was like, just come out here. He's like, I'll buy you a cheap computer and a microphone and we can get you started. Like, if you come out here. So it was like an incentive, man. So, like, to go to a cool ass new place and, you know, like I got a computer and a room waiting for me and all that. So I did that. And at first I wasn't even going to really touch it. And I was just like, it's here. Like I'll use it when I'm ready. And then one day I was just like, fuck it, let's see what I can do. So I started like illegally downloading programs left and right, man, like doing whatever I could to like just get a start. And I've always been big into like Travis Scott, like before he, you know, who he is now. Like he's huge and like Black is a huge influence of mine. The Weeknd, my favorite artist, actually, he's not that well known, but he's pretty big. His name's Oliver Francis. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's a huge influence of mine. And I was like, damn, like I'm gonna try to like kind of do some shit like that while keeping my own roots. Cause like growing up, I didn't listen to hip hop music.
Oh, what were you listening to?
My mom had me on like alternative rock, man. I was listening to like Fuel and all types of rock bands like My Chemical Romance, just like, all over the place with music. But it was never hip hop aside from like your like occasional like Biggie and Tupac,
right?
In the car. So like I didn't really have like a rap influence starting, but I knew I wanted to like make music, and everybody was like, I'm a rapper. So I was like, I'm going to be a rapper too. But I don't even consider myself a rapper at this point, man.
Right. That's crazy. That actually explains a lot about your sound, because you definitely, I wouldn't put you in a box at all, but I mean, you're definitely not rap, you know what I mean? But you can rap. But
I can. need to.
Exactly. And you got the guitars, you got the drums, you got like it's a nice feel. I don't know if you heard it. I hate drawing comparisons, but I think if I could, I would try to group you in with like DC the Don type of vibe. I don't know if you heard of him, but he's out in LA. But he you should check him out. I think y'all would do something for sure. But yeah, that explains a lot. So My Chemical Romance, the alternative rock, it really influences your sound, and I like that.
I've gotten like Ian Dior comparisons. I've gotten I get the Little Peep comparison a lot, especially lately. And like, I don't know, man. Like I make all my music by myself. All that you hear, like all the engineering, all the production behind it, for the most part, is all me. Like aside from a few hands here and there, like. So it definitely was a struggle, like creating the sound that felt authentic to me. And with this new project I'm working on, like, I've listened to it all the way through. I was just telling her earlier about how like I thought I was done, and then I keep going back to it and listening to it. But like listening to it all the way through, I'm like, is this even like a hip hop record? Like this is not a hip hop record at all. A lot of singing on there. There's a lot of like spoken word. It's definitely out there. So I wouldn't really categorize myself as anything but an artist. Just that's all I do.
Yes, an artist for sure. Even when we talk about your vision and your visuals, at least, I mean, you definitely, it's refreshing to see. I mean, like, I'm sorry, Daniel, I'm taking over the interview. I'm so sorry. But it's refreshing to see because it's a break from the ass shaking, the gun playing. Like it actually has like a story, a message behind the music. You know what I mean? Like there's a storyline, and I like that. I enjoy music videos like that.
I got to give all the credit though to my best friend. I actually live with him. His name is Dalton Boss. He is a genius at what he does. Like we shot our first video like 3 years ago. He had reached out to me. And he was like, hey, dude, you should come, because I was living in Oregon at the time. And he was like, you should come down and like we should just shoot something. And he was working with other smaller artists in the city. And I was like, word, like, let's do it. So, we shot our first video for this song called Shoddy Wanna. And it was like the coolest shit I've ever done. And then I had moved back here. And ever since then, we just get crazier and crazier with the ideas. And he's just on some next level type shit. So definitely it's amazing having him in my corner. Like, with not even just like videos, like he helps me like plan shit out and just get everything together. So I always encourage people who are like actually serious about what they do, like, work with someone who you care about too, like as a person, not just like who's good at what they do. Cause like if you don't have a good relationship with somebody, like your vision will never come out how you want it to. And me and him have like the best friendship, and he never lets me down. So
that's dope. That's dope to hear. It sounds like you have a lot of a great support system. I mean, from the homie in Oregon getting you a computer and getting you set up to the homie Dalton, right, Voss?
Yeah, Dalton Voss.
Collabing with you and able to create this vision, man, that's dope to hear. You don't hear a lot of that happening even within the city. You don't get a lot of people that support you like that.
Super organic. I'm a part of this little, like, I don't know if I would call it a collective, because the person who started is like, we're not a collective, but like I would describe it as like a collective, I guess. It's called Pan Gang. There's another artist in the city. His name's Chains, and a producer. He goes by Healers Club, and they started this collective, and they're pretty much just bringing like their pain and what they've been through to life. Like that's the reason behind the name. And I swear, just hanging around these dudes, and like just before I was even like a member or like being a part of that, when I first got back out here, they were all about that too. Like the artistry, the creativity, the inspiration, all of that. And they really helped me like hone my craft. So it's been very nice to work with like like-minded people, because it's crazy what you can do when it's with people who aren't just you. When you're with other people, like you could take it to the next level. And with this project and, with their projects that they're working on, like with all of our minds collaborating together, it's just been like chaos, but in the best way,
Right, exactly. I love it. I'd love to hear that.
And you had mentioned Truly earlier. Actually, Truly is a person who actually definitely kept me on track with this music thing, because there's a lot of times I wanted to quit, and I would see him out in public and tell him, he'd be asking like, do you make music anymore? And I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I'm not really like focused on it right now. And he'd be like, bro, you need to get your shit together. You better get back in the studio and get working. Big shout out to Truly.
Shout out Truly, man.
Oh gosh. When you get into like that kind of mind space where you don't want to do music anymore, what brings you out of it?
That's a really good question. I've had a lot of creative burnouts, like where I will just sit and obsess. I have really bad anxiety, first off, and I want to say like an addictive personality when it comes to like things I like. Like we were talking about drugs earlier. Like if I like anything, I really get into it. But music's always been like a positive outlet in comparison to those things. But when I get into those moods or like those periods of time where I just can't work or focus anymore, I honestly just live my life and like remember that I'm not just this like artist, or because like to everybody else who doesn't know me or like who does know me, like they don't see me as like this artist that's trying to make it. They just see me as a person. And so I kind of have to remind myself that I'm just this person, a normal person, and I just got to, live my life and do my things and let it come organically. And so I'll just take a big step back and, not too big of a step to where I forget what I'm doing or forget how to do this at all, but a big enough step that is not all that's on my mind at all times.
That's good.
There's been periods, man, where I'm just like in such a burnout that I'm trying to like force it, trying to get it done. And like, before I know it, I'm starting to hate what I should be loving, I should not hate making music. So
definitely. So true. I think that's a great reminder, even for myself, as you say it. I just always like, I feel like I should be doing more. Like I can't be still, because if I'm still, I'm stagnant. But it's in that stillness where you really find what you want to do, who you really are.
Answers are just in that calm. And there's been a lot of periods like where we're just sitting there freaking out because we're like, oh, so-and-so dropped this and people are going crazy. Like we need to set the bar higher. And like, it's like, no, you don't, dude. You just need to chill the fuck out and like let it come. Like, don't rush it.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like Roddy Ricch so much, and he got his anticipated album is coming out soon, that he chilled out. He was like, you know what, I gotta live life, because if I just keep putting out records, it's not gonna be timeless music. So it's
not at all, man. And I agree. Shout out Roddy Ricch. I love his music. He's fucking crazy. Like, swear his first album came out and I was like, okay, this dude's gonna be something special. I know. And then the second one came out and I was like, all right, bro, you do you. Like, some people just got it, bro. Some people just got it.
Yeah, so true. So true. So I wanted to talk about, I was doing my little research. I got my journalism bag real quick. And Hobson rapping to you. What was that experience like? Take us back to that journey. Let us know.
Oh man. Yeah, I was like, I want to say I was like 13 or 14. I had been a huge Hobson fan. My friend in middle school had put me onto him, and like kind of reminded me of like Eminem, but he was like this black dude who wore contacts and was different and like kind of weird. And I was like, I rock with this like big time. And so I remember I had like begged my parents at the time, like, please help me get a ticket to this show. Like, I won't cause no trouble. And so I went, and I didn't care. I was like 5 foot tall, like pushing my way through the fucking crowd. Like, I'm getting to the front. I want to see this dude live. So I got to see like, before their whole Funk Volume label fell apart, I got to see like Dizzy Wright, Jaron Benton, all of those, DJ Hopper. It was super cool. And then Hobson came out on stage, and like the whole time I was just sitting there like being a fucking fan. Like nothing wrong with that. Like I was just a fan, dude, just lost, like jaw drop. And I think he noticed, dude, because I was just sitting there staring. I wasn't even like rapping his words or nothing. I was just like blown away because he's like larger than life figure to me at the time. Came over to me and grabbed my fucking head and started rapping these bars, and I was like, oh shit, like what is happening to me right now? Definitely was a moment where I was like, I want to do that same thing he did to me to somebody else. So that was a huge moment in my life where I was like, okay, music's pretty tight. I definitely got to like find my way into it.
Definitely. That's awesome. I love how that was like your introduction, but the music.
That's so funny.
That's awesome. I love that. That's great. That's a great story to tell, man. Like now, maybe when you meet Hobson, you'll be able to tell him yourself.
When I do meet Hobson, I'm gonna tell him that story.
Exactly.
I have a video of it somewhere. Like Literally, him walking up to me and like you see the camera get like smaller because I'm all scared and shit. Like it's so funny.
That's cool.
But I've been surrounded by music like my whole life though. My dad has worked in a bar for longer than I've been alive, and they do live music at their venue. And so I've always been around like super dope musicians who would come in and like do their sets. And not just that, my great grandfather who just passed away recently, he was in this band called Casey and the Sunshine Band. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Mm-hmm. Like I know you've heard one of their songs. It's like, do a little dance, make a little. That song, yeah. He was in that band. He was like a assistant guitar player. He wasn't like one of the main, artists of the band, but he definitely helped them out and collaborated with them a lot. So, I've been surrounded by music forever, but I never had like this drive to want to pursue it.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Dang.
Super wild, Do
you feel pressure because of like your grandfather or because of like the success of your family?
I don't feel pressured per se. I've always I'm a mixed child, and I don't really have like an overly big family. Not that I've met, at least. I know they're out there somewhere, but wherever they are, I know they aren't thinking about me, or maybe they are, but like they don't know me. So like I couldn't really think. So I don't feel pressured by like my family or like their success, because they are successful people and I'm grateful for them. But I feel more pressured, honestly, just by like myself and like this drive to like want to succeed. That's just about it. I just want to succeed. Like I love what I do, and I'm telling the story, and it's not for everybody. Like art is subjective. Not everybody's gonna like it, but I know what I'm doing is a good thing for me personally.
Right.
I'm gonna chase it down regardless, whether my best friend is like, this shit sucks or not, like I'm gonna keep going. So I don't really feel too pressured by anybody but me. And I feel like everybody should feel the same way. Like keep getting better, keep going, but like don't let outer pressures or like social media like distract you from what you should be doing, which is just getting better and putting in that time.
So true. So true. So as you started your music career and as you continue to start your music career, what has been some challenges that you wish you knew beforehand that you could tell an up and coming artist or even an artist that's just starting?
I would tell people who are just starting, and like some challenges that I'm still going through now is like, don't worry about anybody else or what anybody else is up to. Like take note of it and see what they're doing right, but also take note of like yourself and what you're doing right.
Right.
Like I've always been about the music. Like not a lot of people know who I am in the state of Arizona, but I can tell you when I first started, the shit was garbage. But people now, when they listen, like it's nice because I feel like I'm in a position now where it's like I show people the music, or I'll have people reach out and be like, I just was put on to you, and like there's no disappointment because I really focus on the quality of what I'm doing. Right. Let people get too caught up in the clout and the numbers, because I'm not a hateful person or spiteful. Like I want people to succeed, do you, but there are some cases of, stories where it was more the clout and that brought them up rather than the quality of like their sound or their music or like what they're doing. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, that fucking sucks. Cause like I show my music and they don't say nothing bad. Most people say nothing at all. Cause like, I feel like it's gotten to like a quality, like, especially doing it in-house, that like, you can't really hate on it. Like kudos, but don't worry about other people. Don't be a jealous person. Show love. And even if you don't receive it back from whoever you're showing it to, it's mandatory. Like just do that shit, because the universe is gonna reciprocate that to you.
Right. Exactly.
So, but my biggest challenge still is just trying to get people to take me seriously. You get this like this notion of who you are as a person, or like your past life or whatever. Like people know me as this funny dude, or previously funny dude. That's something I'm pretty funny sometimes. Like this funny dude who, used to play football and was big into drugs and just life of the party. And then, I started making music and people can't separate who I was from who I am now. I'm a totally different person. and I just want people to take me seriously. That's all. Like, I'm friends with a lot of artists in the city, and they got a bigger following than I do, and I'm like, good on you, bro. But I want the same thing.
Right.
I feel like just having an old reputation can, follow you forever. When it's like, man, I'm trying to become a better person. Like, I'm trying to just be me. Like, give me a chance. Like,
That's so true. That's so true. I was gonna ask a question. I had a question right here in my notes, and it was because I listened to your music and I listened to lyrics, of course. And at first, it's like, all right, man, who hurt you? Who did this to you? What woman made you this way? But as you're talking, I'm thinking this could be a different spin on it. That you're not necessarily talking about women. You're probably talking about your relationship with substances, and maybe that.
Absolutely, bro. Like, absolutely. Thank you. That means a lot that you bring that up, because I get that all the time. Like, I'm in a relationship currently, and even she's like, "Who are you talking about?" And I'm not talking about nobody. I swear. Like, if there was I'm sure subconsciously there's some motivation behind who I have been hurt by in the past, but it's not the reason why these lyrics are coming to life. Like, I feel like if I'm talking about anybody in my songs, I'm talking about myself. I don't have to put other people's names in my mouth. That's just a cause for problems. So always just talking about me and me. That's it. I don't like to talk about anybody else unless it's in a good lighting.
Right.
But yeah, no, in a lot of my songs, I talk about some really heavy shit for sure. Some shit that I feel a lot of artists would be uncomfortable, talking about, or maybe not. But at the same time, it's not driven by anything that I know of other than my own worst enemy being me.
Okay, so this
I definitely am, man. I got a devil and an angel on my shoulders at all times. Tell me to do some stupid shit. I swear.
I feel it. I understand. So the lyrics are definitely just you versus you, or past you versus this current you.
And yeah, absolutely. And I speak about things in the past tense too. They may not be as big of a problem in my life now, if a problem at all. But it's good, to get it out rather than to have it up here. Exactly. So I'll put it down. And to any of my exes or whatever that are hearing this, I'm not talking about you, bitch. I swear to God, I'm not. I swear. Don't go hate me and shit. We're on a good path.
That's funny. He's like, dang it, Z, now you got me in this question, man. I had to make sure.
Caught me off guard with that one.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
No worries. No worries.
Okay. We have 2 famous questions that we ask on this show. Cool. I'll ask my one. Z can ask his later, which is
okay.
No worries.
So if you could pick any superhero power, what would it be and why?
Oh man, if I could have any superhero power, that's hard, because I'd be watching Marvel movies and shit, and I think all of them are hella dope.
Love Marvel.
I'd want to be able to go into space somehow, so probably just want to be like Thor or Iron Man. If I could choose my own power, be smart as shit, that'd be a cool ass power. Just to be so smart that no one can outsmart you. That'd be super cool. Or you can just build anything. But being Thor would be hella dope. I don't know how old he is, but I'm assuming he's probably thousands of years old, and got lightning powers. He can just fly into space and be fine. That's some shit I'd be fucking with for sure. If I could do that, I'd be off Earth right now. I'd start my own record label on a foreign planet. and be the only musician. They've never heard music before.
That'd be interesting. That'd be really
cool, man. Just everybody wants to be like me at that point.
all they know is you and your music. That's it.
That's it.
That's good. So then the added powers would be super smart and to be able to build anything.
Anything. Absolutely anything.
What would you want to build first?
Shoot. I'd want to build just a facility that was so strong that the government couldn't tear it down and no one could break in. So that way I could just build my own house. Not have to pay taxes and shit. Pay no taxes. Pay
There you go.
Nothing. I just got everything set up.
There you go. Danielle was looking at me like that was a weird question, but that was a great answer. See that? You know what I'm saying? Weird questions gets good answers.
Yeah, just keeping it real.
Exactly. Got to keep it real. So I want to bring up two artists, and I want you to tell me your relationship with them or your how you feel about their music. So Tech-9.
Tech-9. So my older brother, he's 10 years older than me. He's a huge Tech-9 fan, and I support him. That dude is a legend, as big as legends can get. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, he has a huge fan base, but he's not like in the public eye or anything. But I feel like that's what happens. Like as an artist, you just get older and like just have your diehard fans that still support you forever. But his music's crazy, man. That fast rapping, like when I first started, I wanted to be like Twista and Hobson, Eminem, Tech-9, like rapping all quick and shit. But then I was like, you know, I gotta slow it down. I have to slow it down. I don't know. I don't really have like a bias towards any artist other than like a positive one, unless like I just can't stand the music. Like I can't stand for the life of me like overly mumbly shit.
Okay.
If I can't even like make out a little bit of what you're saying, I just probably like keep doing you, bro. Like the success is coming, like
right.
But I won't listen to it. That shit just hurts my head.
Definitely. So true. So here's the second artist. Yeah. Nina Simone.
Oh, Nina Simone. Don't get me started. Bro, I adore Nina Simone. I call her like my soul mother. I don't know why. I feel like a piece of her like resonates inside of me. I don't know if anybody knows her backstory, but she had bipolar disorder and some other mental disorders, a couple of them. And music was a way for her to like, you know, just live her life and be, separate from those things of who she was as a person. And her art was so honest, man. Like just listening to her music and her interviews, she's just such an honest person. She wasn't trying to be anybody else. She didn't think she was, the greatest fucking thing in the world. Right. She just very true to who she was. And I support the shit out of that. Like anybody who's like that, like I can be your friend. I can support you. So if I could go back in time, man, and meet her, I don't even know the words I would have to say to her aside from thank you, like just thank you. Just because her music is so powerful to me personally.
Oh, so definitely.
I'm going to get a tattoo of her actually. So that's
gonna be cool. What's your favorite? One of your favorite songs or projects from her?
I like the song called "In the Dark." So "In the Dark" is, from what I can tell, like from what I've gathered from that song, it's like she's talking about love and like just like how being intimate with someone in a moment can be like the greatest feeling ever, but once it's done, like bro, it is done. There's nothing after that. So it's probably one of my favorite songs because I feel like, especially nowadays, like you'll meet somebody, like because you'll see them on social media or whatever, and like they'll talk to you, they'll give you like a slight second of their time, and then you never hear from them again, and you're like, oh, I'm hurt, bro. I thought we were friends and all this shit, and it's like, no, bro, we were never friends. Like, nice person, like that's it.
Right. Exactly. I think that's another thing that we should talk about too. It's just, hey, you know what I mean? If I don't tell you we're friends, don't be getting all mad.
Yeah, man, don't get mad at me. Like
exactly. Like enjoy the experience. You get to experience me for a while. That's cool.
If there was a reason I wanted to be your friend, I would tell you.
Exactly.
But not that I think that anybody's a bad person or whatever.
No. You just gotta be careful about who you give.
I get some shit twisted sometimes, bro. Like I'll meet people who are like doing their thing, and like I'll get the opportunity to meet them and talk to them for a moment, and like after that, I'd never hear from them again, and I'll see them at a different place in public, and they're like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I'm like, "Man, doesn't matter." Like,
but that's weird though. That's weird. It's like we have a great conversation, and I don't talk to you after that conversation, but I see you in public 3 months after. Like, just a head nod or what's up. Like, that's all. Like, acknowledge. We get that.
And it comes with a lot of things too, though. I feel like once somebody gets like a small taste of like clout or whatever, or like fame or like recognition, it's easy to get this big ass head on them that's like, I'm too good for you, bro. Like, fuck off. Like, there's a lot of artists who are just starting now that have reached out to me, man. And I'll give them like any information they want to know. That's just about music, not about me. But that's just because like I like to pass down the game, you know, like
right.
Give kudos and props to whoever, like keep doing it because I've been there and like I feel like I'm still there at times. So it's definitely weird when you see some people who like at one point were like super chill and then one point they switch up, but that's none of my business, man. None of my concern. You do you.
Yeah, and there's another part to this that I just need people to understand. If I see you in public and I don't remember your name, I'm sorry. I see your face. I know your face, and I'll say what's up, but we can have a conversation. But I'm not gonna say your name because I don't know it, and I'm sorry. Yeah, don't take it personal.
I won't ask you to say your name again because I don't want to come off like a dick, you know.
Exactly. And how do you ask again? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's your name again? Like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. When you're in that situation, you have someone next to you and you're like, oh, this is my friend so-and-so. And then the person would be like, oh, I'm.
But what they know each other, though. They know each other. And I'm the only one that's like, I know your face, but I don't know your name. Like,
I feel that. And that happens a lot because, like, I was talking about Dalton earlier. Like, I swear everybody in the city who's a creative knows him. And so, like, he hangs out with me personally, which is cool. Like, shouts out to him. But we'll go out somewhere, and everybody's like, oh, shit, it's Dalton. It's Dalton. And he's like, this is Nico. And they're like, oh, hey, Nico, I'm so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. And he's like, thank you.
Like, okay.
It works, though. It's so subtle, you just don't see it.
All right, I might have to take. What if nobody's next to me? What if I'm by myself? See, there's these. Well, I'll figure it out. Don't worry, I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'm like, it'll click once we're talking. It'll click. I understand. Anyways, that's a weird tangent that we went on. Just communication and people in life. You know this.
Agreed. Agreed.
Nico, who are you listening to now?
Let me look at my phone. Because that's a good question. I listen to just about everything now. Probably better to ask who I'm not listening to. Because I can tell you from the jump who that would be, just because it's not my kind of music. But I'm listening to a lot of bands. There's this one band that's out of Nashville / like Alabama. They're called The Brook and the Bluff. They're kind of like a pop, folk, indie band. I can't even put them in a category because their music's just so fucking good. But I've been listening to a lot of them. I still listen to a lot of Oliver Francis. He's pretty great. Been kind of diving into like Little Peep more and more on my own. Like I get compared to him a lot, but I don't know shit for his music. The only thing I know is that he died in the city, and like
that's horrible.
Rest in peace. Like that's a really sad story. You know, shouts out to his family. I hope you guys are healing well. But yeah, pretty much. I'm just listening to like bands, like this band called Teenage Wrist. I don't really listen to a lot of hip hop music, just because I feel like hip hop is becoming like a copycat game. Like, I don't feel like it's becoming anything. Like right now, I feel like it's in a very stagnant position. Like there's a sound that's alive, and you know, if you can't beat it, join it, because it's, you know. Once someone's famous, it's easy when they have all that money and shit to stay famous. Especially on social media, you just drop money into ads and all types of shit. And so I don't listen to a lot of hip hop music. I'm not really into it myself anymore. But if I'm talking about like hip hop artists that I listen to, that like I do rock with still, like I don't know. I like Oliver Francis, like I said, but I wouldn't even consider him a hip hop artist. Like if he were to ask me if he thought, you know, he was a hip hop artist, I'd be like, no, you're not, bro. There's not really like a straight up hip hop artist that I'm fucking with. Maybe like Polo G. He's pretty tight. Like I fuck with his music heavily. I mean Travis Scott, but I don't even know if I can call his sound like hip hop. Like he raps, don't get me wrong, but like that sound is like some alternative shit for sure in my mind.
Okay.
I like Thug. Young Thug is crazy.
I'm about to say
that dude does not stop. I fuck with Future heavy.
I love Future.
Future's super dope. I like Money Man. I like Money Man. Actually, there is a hip hop artist that I'm fucking with heavily, bro. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's so funny, but he speaks the realest shit. It's this dude named Larry June.
Hey, Larry June is fire.
Larry June goes crazy, bro. I listen to him like daily. Like he just be.
I'm about to see him in concert when he's out here for sure. November.
Bro, I want to make a song with him, bro. I don't even make music in the realm of what he be making, but I will try my best to.
He's awesome.
Bro, he be making me laugh, bro, because he'd be like, bitch, what you going with? Like, he just, like, is talking. It's not even like he's rapping.
It's almost like that Dom Kennedy vibe that I like.
I like Dom Kennedy. I like Nipsey Hussle's music. Rest in peace to him.
Right.
His music's crazy. Like, I like rappers that tell a really good story.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not really into it for, like, the people are like, I like the beat or I like, you know, I like the drums on it or whatever. Like, that's not me. Like, I like what they're saying. Like, what are they saying? Does it resonate with me? Like, do I feel them? Even if I don't, like, live that life, like, can I hear that and be like, oh, shit. Like, I feel where you're coming from, like, in a different way. Like, I hear you. That's it. I hear what you're saying.
Definitely. So true.
That's the kind of hip-hop music that I'm influenced by.
I was about to say, on that note, I'm the same way. Like, I don't live this lifestyle that you're talking about, but I like it because I can think about how
Absolutely, you feel. Agreed. Because there's some people who be talking about some crazy shit like I robbed and killed and stabbed and do all this shit. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, nah, bro, I just do drugs.
I'm sorry. I don't even be doing that. I just be sitting there like, damn.
I like what you're doing, bro. Like, good for you.
Like, I love me some Griselda. Like, I love West Side Gun.
Oh, West Side Gun too.
Conway, the up and coming Rome Streets. I've been listening to him heavily because he's coming to the city soon. So I have no correlation about selling coke, whipping coke. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But
the way you're telling the story is really interesting. It makes me wonder what that would be like.
Exactly. And I'll pretend like I'll be in the mirror listening to West Side Gun. Boo, 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 boo. I'm whipping. Like, what?
That gives me a question to ask you to the host, because I'm grateful that you just had me on here. So I feel like it'd be nice to ask you guys a question.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Based off that, what does my music make you feel aside from sad? Does it make you feel anything else or just sad? Like, who hurt you, bro? I get that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, sad is the prominent one up there for me, at least. I'm like, wow, okay, there's that. And then, but my favorite song of yours is Discussions. That was 2020. Yeah, you dropped that last year.
Yeah, I did that last year.
Yeah, and I like that song a lot, and it just makes me feel like, you know, I don't know, maybe I had it all the way up in my car, but the sounds really nice. Like I'm always impressed. I got it at 50. You know what I'm saying? I put it on 50 on my volume. So
appreciate it.
I like the quality of it. It was easy to listen to. It definitely has like a little bop to it as well. So Discussion is my favorite song from you for sure.
I feel like I make good background music. Like I don't really make music for people to like overly listen to. Like you can listen to it and get sad, like by all means, but like it's definitely interesting. I feel like it's just some background music. But what's your answer, Danny?
I honestly, when you sent me some of your music, I listened to it while I was doing homework. It got me through my homework, so thank you.
Right? It's super. It's just background noise. It just sounds like satisfying, and I'm okay with that.
It's nice. It's nice music, man.
I appreciate it.
It's not like so. Like it distracts you, but it doesn't fully distract you. Like you're still paying attention when you're listening to it, but it's not like I need to stop what I'm doing and be like, okay, let me fully grasp it. Like it's one of those things that if you hear it out in public, you recognize like, oh, that's Nico's song.
Yeah, I appreciate that because I feel like where I come from with like my creative process now is like I don't really care about it being like I feel like I make catchy music. Like I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the hooks are catchy, like you can sing along to them for sure. But like sonically, like the sounds I choose, the way I choose to mix my vocals and flood it out with whatever I choose to use effects wise, it's just like I want it to be able to do anything to it. Like you don't have to be like at a party to listen to my music. Like you can if you want to. But you could be driving, you could just be going for a walk, you could be in the gym lifting weights. Like I just try to make like a universal sound that's just comfortable in any setting.
That's dope. And you do that really well.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I mean, I can't say the same for this album because there's definitely some cuts on here that are like, bro, I just want to hear this and like go crazy. Like that's it.
Exactly. Tell us when that's dropping. When are you gonna drop that album?
Oh man, it's coming out soon. I don't have like an actual date for it. I had a date. It was supposed to be the 25th. It was supposed to be Halloween, but that came on a Sunday. So I was like, that's a weird ass day. Like I ain't gonna drop on a Sunday. Like I don't even go to church, nothing like that. So I just leave that be. But I know it's gonna be coming out probably later in November.
Okay.
Just like I was telling her earlier, just gotta get back to the drawing board. I can tell you how long it is. It's gonna be anywhere from like 13 to 15 songs. It's really ambient piece of music, piece of work.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's not for the faint of heart either. Like I talk about things that are real life things. Like I listen to music and I like things that I can relate to. Even like if I don't do those things, like I definitely could do those things.
Right.
Like, after a while, I get kind of sick of hearing about I got 500 bitches or I got all this money and these nice ass cars. Like, bro, I drive a Honda Civic. Like, I don't do any of that. Like, I'll be there one day, but like, so it's a very relatable, project. It's fun in some parts, and in some parts, it will get you thinking and wondering about yourself as a person. And of course, my trademark, I'll get you sad a little bit. Like, I'll get you sad. I'll get you in your feelings, like, a little bit.
You better.
I definitely will. I'll definitely be sure to share some of it early with you.
Yes.
Definitely will.
That was awesome. I enjoyed that. So last question before we let you enjoy the rest of your Friday night.
You as well.
Jordan, man. This is the one that makes or breaks artists on this show. Because your fan base may like leave you after you answer this, or your fan base might come to you. So no pressure. But mint chocolate chip ice cream, Nico Jordan. How do you feel about that?
Mint chocolate chip ice cream?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Please tell me that. If he brings out mint chocolate chip ice cream, I'll be really frustrated.
Man, don't even play with me, son. Don't even Don't even play with me.
Everybody, this has been the Takeover Lounge. This is Nico Jordan. Everybody, man, where can they follow you at, man?
Man, they can follow me just about anywhere. I'm mostly active on Instagram, but get at me on Twitter at my full name, which is NicoLye Jordan, and then on Instagram at Nico X Jordan.
Man, I appreciate you being on the show, man. We appreciate you, even though you're a mint chocolate chip lover. I don't know if you might just you probably just lost a follower. Anyways, man. Thank you for rocking with us on this Friday night. Back to our regular scheduled program, man. All the viewers listening or watching, we appreciate it. If you're watching on the rebroadcast, shout out to y'all. If you're listening to on Twitter, if you're listening to on Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff, we appreciate you. You can follow us at the Lounge Takeover. You can follow me personally at Z__GIV. There's no cord to the mic. You can follow Daniela at
Danny will take over.
You can follow the man behind the scenes, the man himself, the Podfather, at the Mankind Podcast Network. You see how it is. You see how he's rocking, man. And tap into the Tucson Raven. They be doing their thing. Who they got? Flow Train. I forgot what Jimmy going by now. Flow Train. Who else is on there? My boy Zeus. Zeus is on Tucson Raven, and Mankind is on there too. You get to hear his lovely voice on Tucson Raven. So definitely showing out some love.
He does have a lovely voice. I won't even lie, bro.
He does. He's the man. I love it. So, we're gonna get back to y'all. New episode of the Takeover Lounge with who did we just drop? Hasero. That was a funny one. Go ahead, tap in with there if you haven't watched that one. That one's great. We talk about pretzels. We talk about some real deal stuff. We talked about moose tracks. I don't even know about moose tracks, but I'm about to get some right now. But y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Before I close out, if you don't mind, I want to say I appreciate you guys having me on here and what you guys are doing for the culture, man. Like, it is hella important. Like, hella important. I'm very grateful and thankful, and hopefully, you know, people who you guys have on your platform, you know, use it to their advantage, but are also grateful of you two as people. Like, big ups to you, and I hope that all the success you guys deserve comes to you in a timely manner, of course.
Thank you. We appreciate
Thank
that.
you,
That's
Nico.
love. Yeah, I might stay following you, man. I don't know.
Hey, bro.
Make up for that. I don't know. All right, man. We're gonna be out of here, man. We out.
Appreciate you. Be safe.
Of course, you too.